First question, the sins of the parents will not have any punishment on the children. No punishment. Because Allah says in Quran, أَلَّا تَزِرَ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. No one will bear the burden of others. Everyone will take his own burden. Everyone will face his own deeds. If someone's father or someone's mother did wrong, the children will never be punished for the sins of their parents. That is very clear in Quran. Now, the other question, that the child who is being born from unlawful sexual relationship, ibn zina, illegitimate child, can he become a mujtahid? Mujtahid means a scholar in Islamic studies who is well educated, very highly educated, that he is able to deduct every Islamic rule from the Islamic sources, which are four: Quran, Hadith, and Ijma' and Aql. The answer, yes, anyone can become mujtahid. Anyone. Even those who have been born from illegitimate sexual relationship. But the question, can he become marja' of taqleed? The answer is no. Illegitimate children will not suffer because of the sin of their parents, not at all. Will not be stopped from gaining knowledge. Let them gain knowledge and let them be whatever they want to be in the degrees of knowledge. But they are not allowed to be leaders of the society. Means, will not be allowed to lead the congregational prayers, Salatul Jama'ah. Will not be allowed to be marja' of taqleed. Why? That is because making him leader will, from one side, make people attack him because of the history of his birth. So, to protect him from being attacked for a sin which he did not commit, his parents committed, Islam wants him to be safe from attack, not to be a target that people can attack. Number two, Islam does not allow anything which legitimizes the illegitimate act. If a person who was born from illegitimate sexual relationship becomes leader of the community, then that will make people look at that illegitimate action as something acceptable. That will legitimize the illegitimate sinful act. For that, for the safety of the person and for keeping his own dignity and not to make him a target to be attacked by people, and for the safety of the society not to look at the illegitimate, sinful, sexual relationship as something usual, Islam said that they should not be leaders of the society.
If Sayyidina, if you would permit me, just to take you back to the first question, he asked whether it has an impact, the sins of the father have an impact on the child, and you know, and then how do we reconciliate that with Allah's justice? Sometimes you hear, for example, excuse me for saying it, but paedophiles, you know, those people who abuse children, and they say that they, you know, have some sort of sickness, and a lot of the time when they actually study their history, they find out that they themselves have been abused when they were young themselves, and say that this is kind of gives them that inclination towards behaving in that particular manner. So there does seem to be some sort of impact, and then if there is, if it can be proven that there is, then how does Allah then deal with these people if they, God forbid, go and commit the same crimes?
This example does not have any link with the parents. If the parents did wrong, that does not have any impact on the children. Allah will not enforce any bad impact on any person who is innocent. You find big enemies of Allah who had children who became best servants of Allah. The history is full of examples. And we have got big servants of Allah who had children who became big enemies of Allah. The son of Noah, one of them. The father is one of the greatest human beings, one of the 5 Ulul Azm, the greatest messengers. And Nuh alayhi salam is not only a messenger. Nuh was mentioned in the Quran, Salamun ala Nuhin fil alameen. Peace on Nuh, on all the words, in all the words. Yet his son was enemy of Allah. So there is no link between the parents and the sons, but we definitely believe, and it is also in Quran, that the dua and the good deeds of the parents will add blessings to their children. And you read in Quran that وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ سُعِدُوا فَفِي الْجَنَّةِ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا مَا دَامَتِ السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ رَبُّكَ عَطَاءً غَيْرَ مَجْذُوذٍ. You find in Quran that Allah will وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَاتَّبَعَتْهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ بِإِحْسَانٍ أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ. Those who believed and their children and grandchildren followed them with good deeds. أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ. Allah will make their progeny, their children and grandchildren, with the forefathers who were pious servants of Allah. وَمَا أَلَتْنَاهُمْ مِنْ عَمَلِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Everyone will has the degree of his deeds, but Allah grants the believers the status of being able to make their children who were not kafirs, not enemies of Allah, can be less in iman, less in doing good, but for the sake of honoring the sincere servants of Allah, Allah keeps their children and grandchildren with them. وَمَا أَلَتْنَاهُمْ مِنْ عَمَلِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ كُلُّ امْرِئٍ بِمَا كَسَبَ رَهِينٌ. That will not make the high servants in the same degree of those who are less than them. Everyone will get the degree of his own deeds. كُلُّ امْرِئٍ بِمَا كَسَبَ رَهِينٌ. Everyone will get what he did. So that is in short. But we don't believe at all that anyone will be forced to do bad or will be getting bad effect on him because of his parents at all. That goes against the justice, and Allah is the absolute just. Everyone will get the deeds that he himself or she herself committed and did. No one will get bad effect of others. Yes, we can get good effect by their dua. Yes, their dua can give us good effect, but bad effect, no, not at all.
Sayyidina, apologies because we do have a call on the line, but if I could just come back to this point one more time. You got two children. One grows up in a household whose parents are both very religious Muslims. You got another household where you have a child whose parents are not religious, but on top of that, their behavior impacts on the child. So this child grows up considering what his parents are doing to be the norm. So is that not an impact of the parents' behavior on the child?
Okay, good question. I mean, children live in different families. A family who is practicing religion, pious family, dealing with the child in a good way, of course the child will have better chances to become a good person. Another family who is not caring for religion and behaving in a bad way with the children, and the child will come out with an effect from the bad family. These two cases, Allah will not ask the second child who was brought up in a bad circumstances in the same way that Allah will ask the first child who was brought up in a good atmosphere. Everyone will have his different questions. Allah said in Quran, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها. Allah will not put burden on anyone but according to what Allah has given that person. Allah has given the first child good family, so his question will be different. And that boy or that child who was brought up in a bad family will not get same questions, because Allah will ask him according what Allah has given him. Yet also we believe that worse family cannot force making a person bad person. The family cannot force anyone to become bad, because Allah has given every human being aql. The scale is the intellect, and the intellect always tells us what is right, what is wrong. Yet everybody's circumstances will be considered, and the outcome will be completely equal. Means justice will be applied on every human being, whether he was being born in the house of pious people or house of enemies of Allah. All will be dealt with in absolute justice.
Okay.